An eargasm of learning and a no-fuss show. Welcome to the Creative Talk Podcast, where you can learn straightforward topics about branding, digital entrepreneurship, online business, and many more with your charming host, John Santos, along with inspiring entrepreneurs, creators, and thought leaders worldwide.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Creative Talk Podcast with me, John Santos, and we have a very, very special guest. I am so excited. We've been back and forth, and I'm so excited to have this woman, that's a teaser already, this woman to be here in the show. Our special guest for today is a life and business coach. She helps high performers who struggle in silence to be vulnerable, grow within, and improve their mental and physical game. Very beautiful, very humble. Guys, I know her story. That's why I'm so excited. I know her story. I've met her on Clubhouse, and she's very vocal on inspiring, motivating people. And she's sharing her stories, her life stories. And she is the modern and real life Wonder Woman. There you go. At least in my perspective, my respect for this person is so high. And she is amazing. She is amazing. Let's all welcome SCARLETT O'Connor. Welcome to the show, SCARLETT.
Oh, wow, Jan. What a way to kick us off. I feel speechless. It's so lovely to be on. Thank you so much for inviting me, and thank you for such kind words. I mean, I've never been called this day and age Wonder Woman, so that's
no, but it's not just because you're the guest here. It's because of me having an overview of what happened to you, understanding your story. And guys, I know that it's very easy to say that you know someone and then their accomplishments and everything, but really understanding your journey, that's something. It's an honor for me to know your story, SCARLETT. You've been through so much, and for me that's just an amazing thing. And for me, you are a Wonder Woman. You are a model of all, not only women, but people out there to really push through, continue, and don't give up in life to achieve success. You are a perfect example, and thank you because you are here now in our show.
I want to say, Jan, I literally am speechless.
Right. So
having
said that, my dear, yes. I know our viewers and our listeners are also excited, and they have this, okay, what's the story? But I always have this perspective in this show that, okay, all our guests are experts in their field, but we tend to forget that that's only the tip of the iceberg. There's a big chunk hidden under, and that's your life story. But I know we don't have time to really share your story, so it's a tradition here to ask all our guests, who or what influenced you, SCARLETT, to be in this position of greatness? Share us a brief overview of who or what shaped you or influenced you to be in this position you are right now, that you are helping people, inspiring, and really making a difference. The floor is yours, my dear. Feel free to share.
Wow, what a question, Jan. What a way to kick us off. My brain just there's been the reason now is because I see how much pain is in the world, and I see that I'm not the only one. Now, not that I ever thought I was the only one, but I mean, I always felt very alone in my own head. I always felt like I didn't have friends who had been through the kind of things I'd been through. I also didn't talk to people or ever express how I was feeling. So I was very much in my own head and alone, and thought that was just me. Like, without going into all of my story, like, I grew up with what I now understand to be a narcissistic mother, who didn't love me. And I now understand that. Like, now, having studied narcissism and NPD for 5, 6+ years, I now understand that she actually doesn't. And that really is the case. That's the way that her mind works. And growing up with a narcissistic mother, my dad wasn't mentally ill and an alcoholic, and so he wasn't ever there to look after me. But having a mum who to the world would seem sane, but is actually not so much. Yeah, I grew up feeling like I was the only one who had that. Like, that I'm the only one who hasn't got a mum that loves me. I'm one of the only people who probably doesn't love their mum.
Ooh.
Like, who's
That's heavy, Scarlett. That's heavy, but I love that. That's the reason I can feel it, because I can sense the authenticity there. And I know, guys, for everyone that is listening or watching, this could be really, no, sorry, it's not could be, it is something that can help you. Listening to Scarlett's story can be a spark for you. I don't know who you are, you listening, you watching. Scarlett is here not only to inspire you with a good story. Of course, she will share tips later, but she's sharing her heart out, her life story, to help you. Scarlett, please continue.
Oh, thank you, John. Yeah, so I mean, there's been a couple of catalysts in my journey. Like I said, my mum actually kicked me out at 12. And so I very much, again, didn't feel like I fitted in, very much had to grow up from a very young age, and had a child at 16, and was written off by most people. You know what I mean? I'm in the care system. I haven't gone to school for years. I've got no parents, no family, and now I'm pregnant at 16. I mean, most people had wrote me off as to what I would achieve, and I'd say that my son was my first catalyst for to be here, even to put the effort in, to want more, to have those big goals and ambitions and dreams. And that was for somebody else. That was for my son. That was becoming a mother. And so it's that was my first catalyst for many of what I have achieved. Like, I'm sat here now in a beautiful home, with beautiful car outside. I've had beautiful holidays. I've done all the lovely stuff. I've got a great career in corporate. So I've achieved all those things, and it's great. And my catalyst for doing all of that was definitely being a mum, wanting all the things that I didn't have, not having any idea what they were, but knowing I wanted them all. And I honestly, anybody who's out there who's in that position right now is where I was. Geez, it's actually 17 years ago now, so my boy's almost 18. Is that, like, keep that vision, keep it big and bold, keep it in your mind's eye. Like, I visioned owning my own home, even though that was nuts to me. I grew up with parents who didn't work, who didn't own stuff, who didn't drive, who didn't have any of those things that I have and I've worked towards. And so it's about finding those things and keeping them big and bold and working towards them and staying committed to what it is for so that you can get what it is you want. So being clear on that why, like, what is it you want and why do you want it? And that was very much my driver through life. And then, as you've probably heard, Jan, I had in 2015, I was assaulted by a police officer.
Yes. Is it okay for you to share that part?
Yeah. Well, I mean,
okay.
It's that's the catalyst for me then wanting to go on an internal journey myself. And it's the catalyst for me then studying neuroscience and NLP and hypnotherapy and going into the field of. So on holiday with I was assaulted by a police officer in Spain, and it ended up with my face being destroyed.
I saw a picture that you shared on Instagram. about that incident, it was like your face really, like what you said, nearly destroyed. Like I saw a picture, I think that you were in a hospital with like plasters all around, and I can see your face turning purple, like you can't open your eyes. It was really bad, Scarlett.
Yeah, it was pretty horrific. Yeah, there's no denying that. It was horrific. And again, I did what I've kind of always done after that happened, and pretended I was okay. No, I say it pretend. I didn't ever pretend I was okay. I was okay. And a pattern and strategy and belief that I have ran my entire life is that you're always okay. Because from a very young age, it didn't matter what happened. If I was upset or angry, it wasn't you weren't able to really be upset or angry. It was just get up and get on with it, and you're okay. And I remember those words, "You're okay." And now with all the work I've done, I can see it, that it isn't that I ever pretended I was okay when I'm not. It's that generally I would just probably beat myself up for not being. Do you know what I mean? Like, don't be like that. Don't be upset. Don't be, come on, get on. But then 2 years later, I lost my dad. And not that, like, as mentioned earlier, he was an alcoholic, mentally ill. So it was always a case of me looking after him, really. But he became quite poorly and unfortunately passed away. And again, doing as I've always done, I'm okay, getting on with it, sorting everything out, funeral arrangements, doing as I do. I actually took my son on holiday traveling around Cambodia for a month, already pre-planned, so had to happen. And then 8 weeks actually after my dad passing away, so within that time, I crashed my car into a tree at 50 miles an hour. Waking up from a coma, they told me that I had passed out of the wheel of my car due to exhaustion, that my body had completely given up on me, and therefore had just passed out. And so that was a real wake-up call for me. And I think a wake-up call for anybody who kind of hears my story a bit, in just that, like, going at 100 miles an hour all the time can be a sign of being hypervigilant, can be a sign of actually that you're acting from a place of fight or flight. And I had been in that place for a long time, but was completely aware of that. So thinking that I am obviously doing my best and that everything is actually okay, not recognizing that I'm in a place of, I'm running from a place of fear, that I'm being run from a place of PTSD. No doubt, there's no doubt that I have probably complex PTSD, but all of these things I never had a clue about. And so, yeah, thankfully, I woke up and could share all this now. And because thankfully, not only did I wake up, but I woke up with, as you can see, this massive scar across my head, Jan. Yeah, I've got the massive scar, but I have nothing else on me. Do you know what I mean? I've got my arms, I've got my legs, I've got everything else, thankfully. And so, yeah, in 2019, a year after my accident, or 2018, a year after my accident, I decided to go on a bit of a self-love, self-discovery journey. I can say that now. I probably didn't realize that's what I was going on at the time. I just knew that I needed to understand more about myself, and that I needed to learn how I was made up. Like, how had that accident happened? How had I got to a place that I had passed out at the wheel of my car? How was I worked up? And also, like, why was my mum the way she was? Why was the police officer the way he was? Why are we the way we are? Why do we have actions or reactions and get angry or sad? Or how does the mind work? Because just before I went into this place of kind of on the up, I went really down. Like, I always struggle with Christmas, like, always have. It doesn't matter how much I tell myself that I've got this and I've had a son and everything. When Christmas comes around, the actual day, I always find it difficult because everyone's surrounded by their families. And I haven't got any family. So I have my son, but obviously he has his dad as well. So I've always really struggled with Christmas Day. And Christmas Day that year, after my accident, with these scars across my head, with everything I'd been through, with losing my dad, I plummeted before I came back up. And it was on coming back up that I decided, yeah, I need to understand all this stuff. And actually, I need to face this this stuff I haven't wanted to face my whole life. And somebody asked me the other day, actually, I did a radio show, and he asked me, what would you tell your 18-year-old self now? And I said the first thing that came to mind was that, like, don't be scared of doing the work. I've put off the work my entire life, thinking that it was serving me, thinking that it's better that it's just in the past and that it's over there, and that I also thought my only choices of help were counsellor or pills from a doctor, and neither of which I wanted. So I've always felt that there isn't really an option out there. And because I couldn't see an option out there, I also didn't want to, didn't know what to do or where to go, and didn't want the options available. So I think I said the other day, I'd go back to my younger self and just say, like, do the work. Don't be afraid to do the work. Like, I don't know, if I had done all the work years ago, well, I guess I wouldn't have so many stories to tell, because believe me, I've only shared a couple on Clubhouse and stuff on podcasts, and oh my goodness, I cannot. I really.
Well, I love that. I love that, Scarlett. I mean, you were in the position. I always say this: things doesn't happen to you; it happens for you. And yes, those are not pleasant things that happened, but it transformed you into, like what I said earlier, a Wonder Woman in a position to reach out and help people. And you are doing that, from speaking, coaching, really being there for people. And I am so fascinated because it deals a lot with mindset. It deals a lot with, I love what you said earlier while you were sharing your story, that you were asking yourself the word why. Why were they thinking like that? Why did your mom acted that way? Why did that police officer did that? What is playing in their mind? It's a, so to speak, a battlefield of the mind. It deals with the mental core, how and why, and clearly it transformed you not to answer those questions, because that's very complicated, but you are in that position to assist people that are in that situation right now. Probably they don't know what they're doing, or they experience the same thing that you experienced. So that's what makes you so powerful. And with that said, Scarlett, I'm excited. I'm really excited to learn from you. About this topic, which is, tips for improving your mental and physical health. It's an amazing thing to learn from someone that really was, formed, molded in that two powerful element, mental and physical health. Because guys, I sound and I look like a fan because I really respect this person. I met her in Clubhouse. We've been friends. Aside from Scarlett's mental strength, she's also a big advocate in physical fitness. Check her IG. I'm promoting Scarlett. Check her IG. You would see, it's a good combination. You have a healthy mindset and you have a healthy lifestyle. It shows in your physique, both mind, body, and soul. It's a good combination, but that's only tip of the iceberg. So again, I'm excited. I know our listeners and viewers are excited to know tips for improving your mental and physical health. The floor is yours, my dear. Please do share.
Oh, thanks, Jan. Well, so where I got to as well with like coming on the up, I mean, that was being in not the best mental place, kind of, mentally not in the best place, just been through a lot of trauma, like a lot of us just have in this past kind of 18 months. And as you would have seen, Jan, when you talk about my photos, I actually then started competing, and I entered a couple of competitions here in the UK, and one of the competitions I entered offered me the opportunity to actually go to America in 2019. And so I set myself a crazy goal to go from coma to Miss Atlas. And in 2019, I was taken out to America, where I won Miss Atlas 2019. So during that process, I learned more about neuroscience, how we hold trauma in the body, how trauma holds in the brain, how things like I touched on earlier, narcissism affect us, our self-worth, our beliefs, our self-esteem, like inner, not the external, which everybody else sees, but the internal. I learned NLP tools and hypnotherapy and other tools to really help be able to shift it and let go of it. And while I was learning all those tools, I was learning them for everybody else. I decided that I knew I wanted to do more with my life. I've got a great career in IT, but I know I can be given back. And after almost losing my life, I went on the hunt for all these tools. But what I realized on the progress of looking for all these tools, and at the same time as learning about narcissism, what a toxic childhood does to us, that I was able to help myself in a lot of ways along that journey with the assistance, but able to help myself. And so I now take my clients through my Scars to Strength process, which is story, choices, action, results, sustain equals strength. And so it really starts when I say story, that's like the starting place. That's all about your story. Like, what's going on for you? Like, what's your story? What do you tell yourself? What's your psychology? What beliefs do you hold? What patterns and strategies are you running back there? How is your reality shaped right now? So we can identify, like, what's actually going on back there, because we don't know what we don't know, and we didn't come out of school understanding how our mind works, understanding how to get the best out of ourselves, understanding what anxiety or depression is or fear is, and how to then what tools to use to manage it. We don't get taught any of that at school, none of it. So it's no real surprise that mental health is a bit of a crisis across the world, and always has been. We just now talk about it.
Actually, Scarlett, I remember before that, they don't believe in, I can only speak on based on my experience in the Philippines before. Majority doesn't believe that, oh, this person is suffering from depression. Actually, that word doesn't exist. They say, oh, they will outgrow that, or it's just a phase in their life, things like that. And now learning from you, it's something complex and really life-changing. It could be for the positive and for the negative of a person, right?
Absolutely. And that could be of anything we go through in life. Every day we're faced with challenges, aren't we? And it's that little voice in your head and the beliefs and values and patterns and strategies that you run, which shape your world. And not the world that people see, not what they extern, not the smile on your face that they see when you're smiling, or the great job you've got, or all that other stuff. What's going on internally? Like, it's that stuff, and that's where mental health is. And so somebody might want to stand and say they don't experience it because they feel too vulnerable to say as well that actually when they wake up in the morning, their head's going crazy with a million thoughts. Actually, they've got the voice saying don't get out of bed, or set your alarm, or don't do this. And although they might have a great routine for going immediately out of it, they might get themselves straight, it doesn't mean that they don't have it. But a lot of people don't want to express they have it. Like in a lot of cases, people want to say that they don't experience it. And I don't get me wrong, I'm sure people like we know a lot of the time we're experiencing things and we're not aware of it. I had PTSD for many years. I didn't know that. I never understand what it was. I didn't understand what anxiety was. Like, actually it is anxiety. I hear it around, but what actually is it? Oh, so when my mind's doing this and I'm having, oh, that's actually because I see. So I think a lot of people are unaware when they think of mental health. Like traditionally, like I said, my dad was mentally ill, and every year he would go into an institute, and he was a schizophrenic, and so very poorly, and he was an alcoholic, so you didn't get much sense out of my dad, to be honest. But his story was that he had grown up in 44, so during the war, the end of the war, in a family that didn't have any money. And it was really hard, really tough. His dad was really tough because the generation he grew up in. And so it wasn't the nicest environment growing up. And I think my dad was in orphanages as a kid, and he then went into the army, I think at 16. And at 21, he came out and he got offered an opportunity to go and play football. And it was with Arsenal, who are great now, weren't great back then, but still a really good team. And apparently, as I understand it, I have never called him granddad. My dad's dad sat him in a room after finding out and just went at him for 2 days straight. Didn't hit him, didn't touch him, didn't physically do anything to him, but basically just told him about himself. And I can only imagine how horrible he actually was. But yeah, really went at my dad, telling him he'd amount to nothing, he'd never be anything. He's and I imagine vile language. And what happened was my dad's eyes froze and he had his first mental breakdown. And that was the age of 21. Now, although my dad, you didn't get a lot of sense out of him and he was drunk, but you could see he was a talented guy. He had a lot of sense now, but unfortunately there were a lot of bits just not matching up a lot of the time of the year. But that had all happened because of words. So that wasn't because my dad was born the way he is, that he wasn't born like that. It happened because of what was going on inside, because of what was going on in the brain that nobody can see. And that made me really apparent from a really young age that our words really have power. And that doesn't just mean for everybody else. It means for everybody else that they have power, and they have power to us. It's like if you're wanting to get in shape, if you're wanting to, like especially at the moment, get motivated. It's been a really, really tough 18 months. I know a lot of people are suffering with motivation, a lot of people are putting a bit of weight. A lot of people are suffering with anxiety because they've spent, Jesus, how long on their own? Then it's really going to start with like, what's going on inside? What are you telling yourself? Because I can almost guarantee that if you're saying to yourself, if you're telling yourself like, I don't know, it's Monday or Tuesday, I'm going to get up and I'm going to do X, Y, and Z today. Or tomorrow I'll get up and tomorrow I'll do A, B, C, D. And then you get up and you tell yourself, oh, it don't matter. Tomorrow I'll do A, B, C, D. And at the end of the day, and during the day, you're saying to yourself like, oh, I should have done that. And, why didn't I do this? And what's wrong with me? And I'm so lazy, or I just cannot do things right now. All of that language is going to be having such an impact, from saying that you can't do things, from giving yourself a hard time and making yourself feel like rubbish, and therefore not having any motivation to do anything. It really, I think a lot of what we do has more to do with psychology than it does in a lot of cases learning the thing. It's actually getting your head into the right place to be able to do the thing. Like I can almost guarantee if you said to me, Jan, I want to lose a couple of pounds. And I said, okay, well, what do you think you could do that would help you to lose those couple of pounds? I can almost guarantee, without speaking to a coach, without going to anybody, you have an answer there. Now, there will be more answers, there will be other information, there will be more tools, there might be better ways, there might be, of course, if you went to a nutritionist or a coach, or same as like if someone works with me, they're going to have the advantage of having NLP and hypnotherapy and all those, everything else there that I've learned that they don't know. But I can almost guarantee if you'd say to somebody, well, what is the one thing you could do differently tomorrow that would help you? There will be something there. There will be an answer there inside of you that you can get to. Like, so if you want to, everyone knows if you want to lose weight, well, first and foremost, you're probably going to have to move a bit more and eat a bit less, or eat a bit differently. Or so people already kind of know that they could do. So I think tapping into like listening and becoming aware of what are you actually doing? Because I think 95% of us is run by our subconscious. So we don't actually think about much all day. We just run in autopilot. Like we literally don't have to think about anything. You need the toilet. Well, next minute you're in the toilet. You've only had the thought you need it. You can get there. You can do everything. You can get into your car. You can drive it. You just don't have to think about anything. Like we just ran by our subconscious. So I would say to people, start to become more consciously aware of like what's actually going on, what are the thoughts you're having. And one thing that can really help to then look at that is to say, well, okay, but if I was saying these things to my child, how would they feel? because you can only imagine how they would feel based upon what you know. So you can't think I would feel a certain way, other than knowing how you feel in that certain way. You have no idea. I might feel completely different, but you can imagine that if somebody was, and because you can imagine that, if you were to hear those words and think, well, they would feel sad, well, that means you would feel sad. That's why you have that correlation. If it was somebody else, they would feel sad or they would feel angry. And it might surprise you if you actually seen that thing happening in front of you that another person doesn't. That's why your words have, if you're saying to yourself, being really hard on yourself, you're going to feel rubbish. And if you're being hard on me, there's a chance I might not want to get out of bed. I might want to go to the cupboard and eat loads of food. If I've got an addiction to drugs or alcohol, I might go want to do one of those. And not actually understand and fight with myself what I'm doing it, but all because actually I'm feeling like rubbish and my subconscious wants me to feel good. And therefore it's going to run whatever pattern of strategy is running in order to do it. So I hope that helps somebody and it makes a bit of sense to like.
Woo! Scarlett, those are knowledge bomb. I mean, wow. And it really makes sense. Wow. Scarlett, thank you. Thank you for that. Can I throw in like a follow-up question? I'm so, I'm so pumped up.
Good.
Okay. What is something that you can advise first for someone that thinks they have mental issues or in a bad mental shape? What is something that you can advise them? Someone that thinks there's no proof yet, but they have symptoms or they're feeling something already.
Okay, and they're not in the best mental the best mental place. I think again that language inside, like I touched on, just like thinking about what you would say to a loved one, like a child. Like we hear a lot about inner child healing, inner child work. Now all of the journey we go on, like through the process that I do as well, is exactly that. It's inner child healing as well. We're tapping into what parts of your story, what parts of you are from the past. Parts of those are not helping you right now, and let them go. And so like when people hear the whole like inner child, they can think, what inner child? I'm a grown woman or I'm a grown guy. Like there's no inner child here going on. Your inner child is the vulnerable part of you inside. That's the inner child. And that's the one who, when you're being really hard on yourself, is being crippled. And it's part of you. It's part of you. And a lot of the time what we tend to do is that shit happens to us. We go through bad times and we beat ourselves up in the process. Like someone can do terrible, terrible things to us. And then they're off and they're living their life and they're doing whatever. And we're sat inside in a prison in our own head, giving them complete control and power while feeling completely helpless. And a lot of the time when we're not in the best mental place is because we're in a bit of a helpless place.
Wow. Love that. The inner child in you. Powerful. I totally agree. Another follow-up question, Scarlett. So that's an advice that you would give for, someone that is in a bad or a negative mental stage. What can you advise for people that is around, people that are suffering from a negative mental situation, the people around, what can you advise people around, the majority? Because, I just want to throw this out, there's a lot of people out there, especially in this generation, they're quick to make judgment. They're quick to say something. No, she's not suffering from depression. It's just, she's just tired or something. She's just making it a big fuzz. What are your advice to those people?
Okay, well, I think if you're surrounded by people who think like that as well, then just recognizing that that's their view of the world. That's based upon what they know. Like, I think it's really helpful if you can see that people are doing their best. Like like I've met horrible people, as I've touched on a couple of things today. Like I've met people who have done not the nicest things, but I still believe that in their own way, that they are seeing the reality, that's their version of reality, and they're doing their best. And so I think it'd be really helpful, first of all, to view that, to not take it on, which sometimes we can do. If somebody doesn't oppose or has opposing views to us, or then we can get our back up and think that it's like something about us, or that we're being judged because we have a different view or a different opinion. And I think recognizing that that's not the case, that's theirs, is really important. Yeah.
Love it, Scarlett. I do sense, I may be wrong, but I do sense so much love in you, so much love and so much hope in you, Scarlett. Why are you full of love and hope? Your eyes are, guys, those who are listening, obviously you can't see her eyes, her beautiful eyes. But for those who's going to be watching this in a video form, I want you to look at Scarlett, not because she's our guest.
Yeah.
Not because she's our guest.
I wasn't thinking about that.
But my dear, I see a person full of love, light, and hope. Why is that so? Why is that, Scarlett?
Oh, I think we only get one life. Like, why do you want to live it any differently? Like, really? Like when I touched on it just now, the victim and being a victim and warrior, and like it's okay when stuff happens to be a victim. Like we all are. When something happens, we are the victim. But if we stay in that place and blame others or the world, then we'd literally just hand all our power over. Like we hand all our power over. And so I think it's been important to me from quite a young age, before I understood actually what now makes a lot of sense by it being kind of written in black and white and me learning about it, that I did recognize from a young age that if I continued to stay upset about something or angry about something, that I was helpless and that I didn't feel very good. And that actually by concentrating on the things that I had control over, I had much more power, and I could move forward. I could set goals despite things maybe going on, because the reality doesn't necessarily change. It's just how you look at a situation that changes. So yeah, that's really, I think, yeah.
I love that. Those are knowledge bombs, Scarlett. I love it. I learn a lot. And again, the love and respect is just up there. Thank you so much for sharing. First, your story, a brief of your story. Second, giving us tips, Scarlett, empowering us, empowering the people. I know that there is one listener, one viewer out there that probably in the same situation you are before, and this can really give her or him a spark to, get back in the game, push forward, and don't give up, because Scarlett here is here to help you. So thank you, Scarlett, for, just being an awesome human being. But we are not done yet, my dear. We are not done yet. We started off with your story, a very serious story. I love that. This episode is unique because it's like watching a movie. So we started with that. Second is we give knowledge bombs, learning tips, perspective, opinions. Now, we are going to lighten it up by playing a game. Are you ready, Scarlett?
Okay.
It's a traditional game that we do here in the show. It's called the Creative Fast Talk. Okay? So how the game works is I'm going to ask you random questions. These are random questions that the team prepared. And you are not allowed to spend much time in thinking what the right answer would be. All right?
Okay.
So first word or first answer that pops into your mind, you need to answer it, and you need to be honest.
Okay.
All right. Are you ready, my dear?
Yeah.
So before I can sense the love, hope, and life in Scarlett. Now I can sense fear. All right, my dear. Let's start the creative fast talk. Question number 1. Very simple. Sun or snow?
Snow.
All right. Second question. Structure or chaotic?
Oh, I like a bit of chaos, I think.
What's it gonna be? Structure or chaotic?
Chaos. I go for
Chaos it is. Chaotic. Third question. Love or money?
Money. Well, it depends what kind of love.
Now, I was not expecting that, but yeah, I was not expecting that, but why not? Why not? All right. I have to give this to you, Scarlett. You are the only person in, like, I think we're on episode number 60, 65, I'm not sure, who answered that. So congratulations. Congratulations. All right. Okay. Why not? Why not? You're the guest, you're the star. So, okay. Next question. Scarlett, if you were an animal, what animal would you be and why?
Oh, if I was an animal.
Mm.
Oh, geez, that's quite difficult. Could it be a monkey?
Okay. Why? Why a monkey?
Oh, because they just look great, swinging around the trees, and they live in exotic places in the world.
All right. Okay.
There's usually like one that like looks after them almost, isn't there? There's like a domineering.
Yeah. All right. Okay.
Lots of baby. Yeah, I think it'd just be lovely. Takes me back to being in Thailand when I think of monkeys, and they just look like they were loving life.
When I was in Cambodia, yeah, they're also a part there where monkeys roam free and they interact with people. So
yeah, It looks great, and they're swinging around the tree, so they're not stuck to the ground either. So they can get around the ground, but they can also get high up in the trees. And yeah, I think that would be pretty.
Okay, monkey it is.
Why not? I don't think I've ever been asked that.
Next question. Popcorn and movies or dinner and dancing?
Oh, popcorn and movies, dinner and dancing.
All right, dinner and dancing. Okay, next. Passenger or driver?
Driver.
Mountains or the beaches?
Oh, it's kind of like the snow or sun, but it's worded a bit differently, and therefore it has a bit of a different impact. I'm gonna go mountains.
Mountains. Okay. All right. Okay. Scarlett, what are you afraid of? Aside from answering this game.
Yeah. What are you afraid of? Oh, geez. What am I afraid of? Now I think dying and not living my purpose.
I was about to ask why, but then you follow it up, so that answers my question. All right, I love that. I love that answer. Okay, next. Movies or books?
Books.
All right, since you answered that, there's a follow-up question to that. Under the category of books, what are your top 3 books or author of all time? Top 3.
Oh, wow. Of all time. 3 top books. Will I Ever Be Good Enough? Which was
and
The Secret, probably The Secret is one of them.
I love that. One more
favorite book. Oh, I used to read a novelist, Katie Kinsella, I think her name, Jane Costello. Oh my God, it's been about 5 plus years since I've ever picked up a book like that. But my favorite of fictional good storytelling books, yes, would be hers.
All right, that's 3 powerful books for Scarlett, guys. Check it out. All right, next. Weird question. Soap or toothbrush?
Soap or toothbrush? Is it?
It's weird, yeah. Which one?
Toothbrush.
So soap or toothbrush? A toothbrush. All right.
Toothbrush.
Scarlett, what's your favorite color?
What's my favorite color? Green.
Okay. What is always inside your bag when you were a kid? What is always inside your bag when you were a kid?
When I was a kid,
Hmm.
oh my goodness. Oh, I don't know. Probably chocolate. I think that's been in my bag always.
Right. Next question. What was the weirdest food you ever tried?
Oh, the weirdest food I've ever tried. It's probably got to be something while I was abroad, I would imagine.
Yeah, probably
Um,
Thailand.
probably Cambodia
Oh,
was more
Cambodia.
questionable to me.
Yeah. Yes, I agree.
Some
I
of the
agree.
dishes.
Which, can you
Beautiful.
share the story? What type of food? What dish?
Oh no, in Cambodia, we happened to be there for Songkran,
Mm.
and in Thailand that was celebrated with a water festival. But while we were in Cambodia, it was celebrated because we were in Siem Reap. Everybody going to Angkor Wat, and it was
Yeah.
like a day for no tourists, really. So it's all locals, all Cambodian people who come together for an amazing event within Siem Reap, across the
Mm.
temples.
Yeah. I've
And
been there.
because have you?
Yes.
Yeah,
Me and my wife.
it's so beautiful. It's outstanding. And because I've made friends with a wonderful tuk-tuk driver, he and his family asked us to attend.
Ah.
So they took us with them, and that day, I think because it was so local, I guess, and there weren't the tourists and things, there was lots of different food which I have no idea what even was, but that I went, yeah, okay, I'll be really polite. And I mean, I tried the bugs, so maybe that's probably the weirdest. I've eaten bugs. Fried of
All
some
right.
sort.
Yeah, I tried the fried thing, but the other that is not fried, I can't try it. Although, have you tried the spicy vegetable? They have a spicy vegetable thing. I forgot what it's called, but it's a very very spicy vegetable dish. So
Okay.
if given a
Oh no, I
chance to
do.
to visit country again, please do try that.
Oh, definitely, definitely. Well, when we can move again, hey, when we can travel and see parts of the world again, that would be amazing.
Visit the Philippines, my dear. Visit the Philippines. We're gonna eat together. Next question, my dear. Next question. What is your dream superpower and why?
Wow, dream superpower. I would like to be able to appear in the Philippines.
Wow. Okay.
Yes.
Teleportation.
I want to tell you,
Yeah.
yes, that's what I want.
Right. Okay.
Yes, please.
This
And why? Because why wouldn't you? Who doesn't want to be able to do that? Even to work in the morning. Do you know what I mean? It's everywhere.
We're gonna drink. Are you a coffee drinker or a tea drinker?
Coffee drinker.
Coffee drinker. My city is known for it's called in our language barako. It means tough. It's my city is known for tough coffee, homemade tough coffee. So whenever you teleport here, I'll give you that coffee, and then it's just the scent, the aroma of that coffee is enough to wake you up. So imagine the taste.
Oh, how lovely.
Lovely. All right. Last question, my dear. It can be something serious depending on how you take this question. All right. And you're allowed to be serious depending again on how you take this question. Last question is, if you have the power to bring back someone back from the dead, who would it be and why? Anyone in the world. It doesn't need to be someone related to you. Anyone you know. If you have the power to bring back someone back from the dead, who would it be and why?
Oh, wow. That's bring someone back from the dead. Yeah, I mean, I can't help but go and just feel like if it would, I would struggle to choose one person. If that had to be the thing, that would now be very difficult, wouldn't it? If you could only bring back one person. I lost two uncles of mine, so I don't have to speak to the family that kind of is around anyway. But yeah, growing up, I lost two of my uncles, and one I lost to he drowned after his wedding while on a boat with his wife, and fell off in the middle of the sea, and unfortunately didn't get found until he had gone. And then my other uncle took his life later in life, and it's just a shame for both cases, both below the age of 30, and yeah, both very sad. So I think I'd go back and pull them back and rescue them. And now I'm an adult and not a child. I know that even if we were the only family that we both we had, that yeah, so that would be what I suppose, yeah.
And I know, Scarlett, they are so proud of you, and they're cheering you up to pursue and continue and help people. They're so proud of you, and they love you so much.
Oh, thank you, Jan. Yeah, random those questions, including the love and money one. It's been going round ever since, and it's like it depends what you mean by love. When you think of love and what you can give to the world, loving others, then love all day long. When you're thinking about love and you think about relationships, and then
exactly.
Yeah.
Well, Scarlett, thank you so much for being a good sport, sharing us your story, giving us your learning, and just being a good human being, being a good sport. Thank you so much. I know you have a lot of promotions or releases, online courses, your business, your social media accounts, any events that you're working on. Please do promote it. The floor is yours, Scarlett.
Oh, thank you ever so much, John. That's really kind. Well, as we kind of touched on earlier, people probably got the idea that I maybe didn't have the best boundaries in my life. I've had great walls and etc., but learning about myself, understanding myself was very much a journey. One of the first things that we help clients on when we're looking at that story is also boundaries. Like what will you accept? What won't you accept? How? But we all have our unique life experiences, and therefore all need to have our own healthy boundaries in place so that we don't get manipulated, and so that we end up saving not only our energy but our time, our money, our everything. So if people find themselves people pleasing, which can happen a lot, especially with the cultures we've grown up in, where it was kind of be seen and not heard and do as you're told, and we can always grow up thinking that we have to be a certain way. Or if anyone's kind of feeling like that at all, then I've just put together like 5 steps to help with setting boundaries. Really helps you to kind of understand why they are and why they're so important. And this isn't about guards. This isn't about becoming guarded and cutting people off. And this is about understanding you. And when we're talking about mental health and helping you with your mental health, then key thing is boundaries, having healthy boundaries, because you can end up actually not really having poor mental health, but having people around you, like we were touching on earlier, who maybe aren't the best or most helpful to your mental health. So if that relates to anybody, I am collaborating or doing a joint venture with a friend of mine, and we are going to be running a program to help people really get in shape, get fit. We know how much this has impacted them these last 18 months. People have put on weight, like we touched on, motivation is low, people are procrastinating, and not feeling very happy because necessarily don't have much to look forward to. So yeah, we're going to be running a program. It starts next month. So if anybody actually just wants to know about that, if they just drop me a DM on Instagram, then I will keep you updated. I'll send you all the info. So yeah, thanks ever so much, Jan, for the opportunity to share that.
Scarlett, please give them your handle, your Instagram handle, so they know where to search or what to type.
Yeah, of course, that'd probably be helpful, wouldn't it? Yeah. So yeah, my handle it's Scarlett O'Connor UK, which is SCARLETT OCONNOR UK. Hopefully everybody finds that easy enough. There's also my website is scarlett.club. If you go onto there, it's just a bit of a link tree. You'll see all of the options. So anything free I've added in between now and actually listening to this, then you'll find it all on that scarlett.club.
All right, guys, please do connect with Scarlett. I'm sure she can help you in your journey towards success in life. Again, Scarlett, thank you so much. I enjoyed this episode. I learned a lot. I love listening in your stories, in your learning. Always a fan, always a supporter, and always a friend. Thank you so much, Scarlett. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you so much, Jan. I've been blown away since we started. It's been hard to get my words together at points during this.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, guys. This is John Santos saying, have a positive outlook in life. Smile, and God bless you.
Thank you for being with us here on the Creative Talk Podcast. I'm your host, John Santos. Don't forget to listen and subscribe on your favorite podcast platform. See you again, always.